it Wednesday already?
It's a Wednesday again. Happy Wednesday.
Here we are.
So here we are, and thank the Lord in heaven above. Spring is coming. It's coming, I promise. So we thought that today we would actually talk about the market, which everybody's asking about, but also coming into spring and what that looks like with listings and getting your houses ready and all that kind of stuff. So
the market is typical spring, I think, because it's crazy right now.
It is absolutely.
Along with everything else that everybody's doing as far as if you got kids, I'm sure you're busy, but work has been extremely busy, which is good. But it's a busy time for lots of folks, right?
Yep, it's bonkers. It's bonkers right now. Real estate market is just doing really, really well. Despite, I don't know, we cut the news off at our house. We don't listen to that. So I don't know what they're saying, but the market that we are in here in Nashville, Tennessee is booming. If you are hearing or seeing different things, then there's a reason. And that's kind of what we want to talk about a little bit today. The market has definitely changed a little bit from what it was.
Let me talk a little bit. I did, for the number geeks, gurus, I did listen to a housing economist yesterday. I went to an event and spoke with him for new housing mostly. There's a sweet spot in new housing that makes a healthy market, and that is between 24 and 28% of the new homes that are built to be finished unoccupied. So spec homes that are finished on the ground waiting for somebody to come buy them. There should be about 24 to 28% of those that builders are building out there to be a healthy market.
Where are we?
Right now we're at 22. So we're below that. Now, a year ago, we were down at like 10 or so, quite a bit. So we have been working our way up, but we still got a little more room to get into a healthy market. So, and we probably will work our way into there. Builders are starting to catch up a little bit. But kind of like what we've been saying over the last few months, it is not dying off. It's just things are getting back to a normal. You know, we're getting back to what it ought to be. It ought to be a 4 to 6 month marketing time to sell a house, like it used to be,
Sure.
90 days or whatever
Sure.
it is. But,
well, and the builders, I mean, they got behind. You guys got behind, which created an even bigger inventory shortage, which created this this frenzy of what was happening. And now things are kind of leveling out. You could go look at a house and maybe you can sleep on it,
before you got to make a decision.
Yeah, right. Just kind of shifting into sellers, not new construction, but sellers. If you're hearing people like, oh, my neighbor's been on the market for 2 or 3 months and they don't have an offer, this, that, and the other. The pricing and preparation are key in this market. And they're key in every market, but when you have a really, really bad inventory shortage, which we still have a really, really big inventory shortage here in the greater Nashville area. And we push this to our clients all the time, getting your house ready and pricing it correctly in any market. The days of throwing a house out there with absolutely no prep work done and somebody's going to pick it up. I don't think we're there anymore unless it's just priced crazy,
stupid cheap,
cheap, which what's stupid cheap now, but back below, significantly below market.
Right.
Also in a healthy market, what we would typically do is we would look at the comps in the area, which is similar houses that have sold, similar in square footage, similar in age, similar in lot size, similar in construction, meaning you're not going to comp out an all brick house with a siding house or whatnot. But looking at those, in the neighborhood, you would see what their average on they're selling for, and then you would typically bump your price up just a little bit over that to keep the market moving in the neighborhoods, keep them trending up. Well, what's happened in our market is that the inventory shortage was so big and people were, flooding in and bidding things up. Now you're having to price within those, going up over what the last house sold or the last 5 houses sold. You're kind of having to price within those and not above them to stay within the market. Buyers are taking their time right now. So houses are probably, most houses I'd say are 30 to 60 days on the market, which is a pretty healthy, normal time frame, but something that we've always preached is getting your houses ready. What is causing sellers to have houses not sell, contracts fall through, I think is lack of maintenance and lack of prep work, to get their houses, the houses ready, is what we're seeing. So let's say you're not huge on maintenance at your house. I'm crazy about maintenance. I don't like weeds in the flower beds. I don't like, dead shrubs. Like I don't like all those things. So I'm nuts about those. And so
as long as somebody else is doing it.
no, I do plants and flowers, but I'm always like, we got to get this fixed. We got to get this fixed. Some people, that doesn't bother them, they don't care if the flower beds are got some weeds in them. They don't care if there's dead shrubs. But here's the thing. When you go to sell, that deferred maintenance has to be brought up to speed. The flower beds have to be weeded. The dead shrubs have to be pulled. Fresh ones put in their places. Pressure washing has to be done. Any chipping paint, rotten wood, those things have to be repaired. If it's something that doesn't bother you living in the house today, I've lived with it like that for 5 years. We don't care. No big deal. It's not a big deal. It's you do you. But when you're going to sell, what are the chances of you finding somebody exactly like you that's not going to care and it's going to pay top dollar in our real estate market?
The best opportunity to get the most amount of money for your investment is to make it look
make it look pristine. So if the chipping wood doesn't bother you, that's cool. But when you go to sell, it has to be fixed in order to attract buyers. Curb appeal's huge with it coming into spring. Everybody's laurels are dead. They're not coming back. Give them up. Pull them out. Put something else in there. Whatever you're gonna do.
I finally gave in to that. 2 weeks ago. Marty's been saying they'll come back. And
that's like, I just want to wait till they come back. I'm like, at this point, if they come back, you're going to have to cut them down to this big. And then if some of them come back and they don't. So anyway, I finally won. We pulled the laurels. We found 3 to replace them. The other 4, there are holes. But you know what? I'd rather see the holes than the dead shrubberies. But guys are not coming back. Pull them out. Put fresh shrubs in before it gets June. Because you're trying to do fresh shrubs in June and trying to make them take hold. And when it's dry, it's gonna be tough. So just go ahead and do that. All those things have to be done. Prep work is huge. To get top dollar, the house has to look great. It has to look great from the time that they pull into the driveway. And so we're doing a lot of this right now. We're going into the houses. I'm giving them checklists of things to do. And, get it. You don't, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? But if you want to get the dollars and you want the house to sell quickly, and for a good price, these things have to be done. Now, if you want an as-is sale, you're like, I don't care. Prices are up. We've got equity. I'm not doing all that. My time is worth more. I want an as-is sale. We've got those buyers too. You can do an as-is sale for an investor. Matt, you can talk about what that looks like. We do have investors that'll come in, but guys, you got to understand what an investor's doing. They're buying your house. They're going to do all the things and they want to make all the money. So that's what you give up.
The reason they're doing it is because they want to make a profit.
Right. So if you're an investor and you're coming in, I've got somebody calls and says, we've got chip and paint, we've got no landscape, we've got, we need carpet, we need paint. Some of the cabinets are chipping. They probably need paint. We haven't updated light fixtures since 1970 when this house was built. We don't care. We love it, but we're ready to sell. Prices are up. We've got plenty of equity. What does an investor do? Explain this.
Well, for one, from the seller standpoint, it can be super easy because an investor can be flexible on the time they move out. So the investor is going to go in and say, you know what, this house is going to be worth $500,000 completely fixed up. It's going to take paint, countertops, fixtures, yard work, fix the siding here, fix the window here, whatever. It may take them a couple, 3 months to do all that.
Cleaning out gutters, pressure washing. You guys have to understand all this stuff costs money. I mean, if you hadn't gotten your a quote for pressure washing lately, the driveways and stuff, woo! Yeah, so the investor is going to buy it at a rate that he can put all those things in there and then sell it and then still have a little bit in between to make it worth his time. It's got to have a profit margin.
So, but for the seller, the beauty is the investor is usually flexible on time. So. Right. If the seller says, you know what, I don't want to do all that. I want to buy this house over here and it closes on June 5th and I want to close mine on June 4th and then move out directly the next day. The investor buyer is probably like, okay, no problem. Yeah. Or maybe they need to stay in the house for an extra week. Investor is probably going to be like, okay.
Or maybe they need to stay in the house an extra month.
Yeah.
And that's okay too. So you want to go make an offer on a house without it being contingent on your selling. Because here's the thing: you've got a house that the maintenance is delayed on it. There's repairs that need to be done. You got 2 dogs, 3 cats, and a turtle that you're trying to get out to show somebody the house, and you want all the, and you're trying to get money. You're trying to get your money out of it to go into the next one, but you don't want to put the energy effort into it.
Or the money sometimes, because sometimes you may be spending $50,000 to get it up, and you don't want to spend that. Right?
You don't want to spend it, or you don't have it, or whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
The investor comes in, they're going to give you an investor price, which is included there. It's what it'll bring fixed up, less what they're going to spend on it, less their profit margin. And you're saying, great, I've been in this house for 5 years. I've got a boatload of equity. I get out what I want. I get the house I want. The investor makes money. All is well in the world. So we do have opportunities like that if you don't want to do this prep work. So there are options, but if you've got somebody that the house is on the market, it's sitting, they're not getting activity, they're not getting, it's price and condition. It always comes down to price and condition. And if the agent
and location
but any location, if the price and condition are correct, it doesn't matter about the location.
Yeah.
The things you have control over are price and condition. So if the house is sitting, it's not selling, it's price and condition. And, you don't know what you don't know. So if your agent didn't come in and they're not giving you any advice on what to do to get the house up, or they're giving you bad advice on what to price it because they're looking at, the last 6 months and what the houses had brought that were up to speed and the condition was good, and they're pricing yours the same when the condition is not, or they're comparing it to a house, 2 subdivisions over that is a much bigger house or different or newer. There are things you need to be advised by somebody that knows how to explain to you how to get from here to here and what all comes in between. So there are different routes you can take on this, but the market's strong. The market's great. There are different ways to, there are lots of different ways to know how to do this. So there's multiple paths to get from A to B, and we can help you with all of those paths. You just have to be honest with us about what your goal is, and then we can tell you how to get there. If it's getting all the dollars, I can tell you exactly how to get all the dollars. But you don't get all the dollars without putting the work in. So there is.
And everybody's situation is a little bit different depending on whatever it is.
Right. So if you're looking to buy and you've got something to sell, there are routes for that. We are seeing some sellers taking sell a home contingencies or close of home more so, like your house is on the market, it's under contract, and you want to put something under contract, another house under contract contingent on yours closing. We're seeing some sellers going for that now, whereas we were seeing none. Only seeing very few that will take a sell a home contingency where your house is not on the market. So if you've got a house to sell, you want all the dollars and you want to buy something else and you need to do this big switcheroo thing, we can get a plan together for that as well. It's just it's a different path. So there's all kinds of different paths, and we're here to help you know which path to take and how to get you there. So reach out to us. We're happy to help you, whether it'd be if you're just, feeling it out, and it may not be now that you're selling, but it's, maybe you're thinking about the next 6 months or so. Reach out to us. We're happy to guide you in any way that we can. Whatever your path looks like, we can help you navigate that. We'll always be open and honest with you. And moving is stressful, so we try to make it as minimally stressful as possible and kind of be proactive and jump in those hurdles. But home inspections are back. Buyers are doing home inspections, and we're negotiating repairs again. So that's something that is can be a tough thing to navigate. If you're proactive on that, you can head some of that off at the pass. Mm-hmm. We're always big on being proactive. But you as a seller makes those decisions on whether you're going to take our advice or not. And the reason we do that is to keep it, to lessen your stress and minimize your costs later. So there are ways to navigate through, heading off at the pass, tough negotiations during repairs and home inspections and things like that. So those are the things that we can guide you on. Market's always shifting, always changing. It's still good. We're just going back to a little bit more normal. But if you're doing your prep work,
it's not a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. And if you're doing your prep work and you're being proactive, and it can still be a really, really smooth, really great transition. You can get all the money and move on to that next dream home.
Sounds good. All
right. So you guys give us a call. Tell us how we can best help you. If you have things that you would like for us to talk about, professionals you would like for us to bring on Wednesdays for these live chats, please drop us a note, give us a call, shoot us a message. We always want to bring you something of value. If there's a topic that you've got questions about, just let us know what that is, and we'll try to bring it to you on our Wednesday chat. So go out, enjoy the sunshine, and keep working towards spring. We hope to hear from you guys
See you
soon.
next week.
See you next week.